What's going on, y'all? Peace, peace, peace. Let me see how many of y'all I get to come on up in here. Quick impromptu live. I gotta plug in my phone. This one about to die. I need to turn off my notifications too, because people hitting me up right now. Put that joint on D&D real quick. Peace, family. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's going on with y'all? Can you share this out right now? Share this out and let people know that I am live right now. Can y'all do that for me? Can you do that for me? Share this out and let people know that I am live right now. Quick impromptu live. I don't know how many of y'all I'm going to get up in here right now. But let me see. Let me see if I could do something real quick. But peace, 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 family. What's good? Y'all come on up in here real quick. Y'all come on up in here and chop it up with me real quick. All right, let me see. Can I do this? I think I can. Let me share this out. All right, let me put this out there right now on social media and let people know that I'm live real quick. I'm just going to share this out on my social media and let people know that I'm on live right now. If y'all could hit that share button for me, that would be great. If y'all could hit that share button, let people know that I went live real quick. Like this video also. Hit the like button as you're coming up in here. What's going on? Let me know who I got up in here. I can't see y'all from, this vertical live thing. I can't see who's in here, but if y'all leave some comments and just let me know who I got in the building, I could shout some of y'all out. But I appreciate y'all tapping in with me real quick. Right now, tap in. All right. Okay. Damn, what's all this? What's all this? Okay. Okay. Why can't I share it? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm trying to share this thing out. Hold on. I gotta scroll this down. Okay. Scroll that down. Still ain't working. I don't know. It's not letting me share it to Facebook for some reason. Let me try to put it on X real quick. Let me see if I can put it on X. Y'all share this out as y'all coming in here. What's good? Peace. What's going on? Patrick Young in the building. What's going on? Just doing a quick impromptu live real quick. I had some time on my hands, so I wanted to hop on here, chop it up with y'all real quick about some of the things that's going on. How y'all doing? Everything good with y'all? Yes, indeed. Okay, I put it on X. For some reason, it won't let me put it on Facebook. For some reason, it's not letting me put it on Facebook. Let me just copy the link. Let me do it that way. Copy the link and then put it on Facebook that way. Let me do that. See if that works. Mr. Fella, what's going on? Sock, what's going on? How y'all doing? Welcome. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to share this out. I'm gonna chop it up with y'all in 1 second. Nah, this is not gonna work either. I don't think. Hold on. Peace. Okay, yeah, this will work. This should work. All right, yeah, this should work. Okay. All right. All right, there we go. Okay. Share it to this page. Okay. And post. All right, cool. All right, cool, cool, cool. So I'm here. I'm here. Um, Hola, me llamo Batman. What's going on, Batman? Alejandro. What's going on with you, Alejandro? Tay Lee. What's going on? Y'all do me a favor and share this out on your social media. Y'all do me a favor and share this out on your social media. So yeah, like I was saying, man, I just had some time on my hands, man. The weather is crazy down here in GA right now. So, we got a little bit of snow over the last couple of days. The second time it snowed this month already. 2025 starting off with this crazy weather. But it don't got to snow too much down here in Georgia for things to get crazy because, people are not really used to the snow. They don't got a lot of snow trucks and stuff like that to prepare the roads and stuff like that. So it gets a little crazy with even just a little bit of snow. So business has been slow, school has been closed. My son hasn't been in school all week. It's closed again tomorrow already. Well, they have a digital learning day and all of that stuff. And so I had a little bit of time on my hands, man. I wanted to come on here, chop it up with the family, man. You know, see how y'all doing, what y'all got going on. Did you see the interview of one of the original Black Spades named Guru? He told the story of how the Black Spades got started and gave the credit to Disco King Mario for creating hip hop. Now I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I got to check it out to see exactly what was said. I know I wouldn't agree with giving any one person the credit for creating hip hop. Hip hop is a culture that extends from foundational Black American culture, and that's just not how culture. That's not how culture works. A culture is not created by one person. You know what I'm saying? One person doesn't create a culture. So I would have to watch it to see exactly what Guru was saying. I know King Mario does deserve a lot of credit, as far as the Bronx story goes. He definitely deserves a lot of credit, and he's oftentimes left out of the story. He's been kind of written out of that history. Some people say it's because he got hooked on drugs and stuff like that, and but to me, that's like that ain't no reason. That ain't no reason to just write the man out of history. You got to give people their props. You know what I'm saying? And just tell the story how it went. But people have been remixing the history and trying to position themselves, you know, as being a little bit more than what they really were. A lot of people got a little bit too much dip on their chip. Everybody want to run and take credit for this, that, and the third. But that's not how culture works. Culture is not created by an individual or even like a small group of people, a couple of niggas get together and do some shit and create a culture. That's not how that works. Culture, um, culture is created um, based on over time, based on a set of circumstances that a group of people with common customs and history find themselves in. You know what I'm saying? A group of people over time find themselves faced with a certain set of circumstances, and they create a way of life and a means for survival in order to be able to thrive within those circumstances. And that's what brings about culture. You know what I'm saying? That's how culture is brought about. One person doesn't just say, you know, I don't know how they try to spin it, but one or two people don't just come out and just create a whole entire culture. That's just not how that works. And so again, hip hop is an extension of foundational Black American culture. You know what I'm saying? And when people hear hip hop, most of the time, what people think about is rap music. You know what I'm saying? But rap is a music genre. Rap is not the culture. You know what I'm saying? Rap is the music genre that comes out of the culture. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like what KRS said. KRS, he kind of be all over the place, but he's dropped some real science over the years, and he said some things that's valid. And like he said, um, rap is something you do, hip hop is something you live. You know what I'm saying? And so, I've always said that. I've always said, I'm not a fan of hip hop. I am hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't be anything but hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the walking, living, breathing embodiment of hip hop. I've always been that. It's not something that I'm into. It's not something that I'm a fan of. It's not something that, I adapted or, you know what I'm saying? This is just who I am. It's literally the essence of who I am. You know what I mean? And hip hop, man, hip hop is a strong and powerful force. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, to me, it is an important conversation for us to have. It is important for us to control the narrative and correct the history. Some people look at it as being, not that important, or it's a frivolous conversation, or there's more important things we could be talking about and all of that. And there are other important things to talk about, but you know what I'm saying? I believe we could walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. But I don't like how people try to diminish the importance of the conversation around what hip hop actually is and where it actually comes from. That is an important thing because, like I said, hip hop is a powerful force, one of the most powerful forces in the universe over the last, 40 years or so. You know what I'm saying? It has been that. Like that record that Erica Badu made, where she said, hip hop is bigger than religion. That's a real thing. Yahweh Diab Ma'at Jehovah. No, that ain't how it goes. She said, Yahweh Diab Allah Jehovah. I forgot the words. Yahweh Dios Ma'at Jah. Rastafari fire, dance, sex, music, hip hop. It's bigger than religion, hip hop. It's bigger than my nigga, hip hop. It's bigger than the government. It is, man, because when you think about it, uh, in order to get people around the world to assimilate into a certain culture, a certain way of life that you want them to live, in order for, you know, for the colonialists and the colonialists and the imperialists to, you know, go around the world conquering things the way that they do, they have to force people into a certain way of life. You know what I'm saying? They have to do it under the gun, under the threat of bombing, under the threat of resource deprivation. You know what I'm saying? They have to force people to get down with what they trying to get them to get down with. But with us, with this thing that we do called hip hop, we don't have to force anybody. It has a magnetic attraction all on its own where everybody wants to get down and everybody tries to assimilate and emulate this thing called hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's bigger than all of those religions. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to force it on anybody. You don't have to go to war, you know what I'm saying, to try to prove what is uh what is the correct scripture and what is not. You know what I'm saying? What is the correct interpretation of the same scripture and all of that? You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than religion. It's bigger than the government. It's bigger than all of that. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why it's bigger than all of that because it is all of that. It literally embodies all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying the other day, hip hop is a sample culture. Hip hop is a sample culture. You know what I'm saying? And sampling is just another part of foundational Black American culture. You know what I'm saying? Taking a piece of this and that and repurposing it and chopping it up and remixing it, putting a new spin on it to create a whole new thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. Basically, Disco King Mario was the first one playing outside and was supporting the original seven kids who sparked the movement. He was the only one who could get in the venues for everyone to get down. Yeah, and I've heard those stories. Yeah, and I've heard those stories, you know what I'm saying, about Mario. Absolutely. But that's the thing though. Like I was saying, he does deserve a certain amount of credit for that. You know what I'm saying? Giving all the credit to Cool Herc for having a after school party or whatever, back to school party or whatever the case may be. You know, it's cool, but you know, that's not really accurate. You know, they're not really telling the whole story, like I said, of what actually happened in the Bronx. But at the same time, what I'm saying is it's even bigger than that, because even saying who came outside first is doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because if they could find, and I'm just saying hypothetically, if they could find some Puerto Rican dude who was a DJ that actually came outside before Mario, and like I said, this is a hypothetical, you know what I'm saying? But this just say for instance, you know, they dig up some Puerto Rican dude who actually came outside with his equipment before even King Mario did it. Let's just say that that's the case. Let's just say that that's the case. Tomorrow, Fat Joe, Crazy Legs, Joe Conzo, who else? Who else? You know, all of the Puerto Ricans, they they um they go live tomorrow. They have some big live Twitter space or YouTube live or whatever the case may be, and they bring forth all these receipts about this Puerto Rican dude that none of us never heard of, who actually came outside with his equipment, two turntables and a mic, before King Mario, and they got the receipts to prove it. Let's just say that was to actually happen tomorrow. Would that mean hip hop is Puerto Rican culture, or that it's now a 50-50 thing? Is that what would that mean that they're actually right? Because this Puerto Rican dude predates King Mario and Herc and Bam and all of that, right? No, and I'm saying the answer to that is no. That still wouldn't change anything, because you would have to unpack that now. Okay, who's this Puerto Rican dude, and what was he inspired by? What records was he playing? What made him play these records? What was his motivation to do what he did? And then when we unpack those questions, it's gonna still lead back to foundational Black Americans, because he can't say he got it anywhere from Puerto Rico. He's not going to be able to say this is what we was doing in Puerto Rico, and so I just brought it to the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to be able to say he was playing all of these Southside merengue records and all of that. You know what I'm saying? He would still have to say, yeah, he was playing these funk records, and he was inspired by, you know, these radio DJs and the disco DJs, and you know what I'm saying, people like that. He's still going to have to give credit to foundational Black Americans for the inspiration, even if he was the first one to come outside with the records. So whoever was first outside with the turntables, it does deserve a certain amount of credit for the Bronx story, but it doesn't. It's not the determining factor for who created hip hop and where it comes from. Shout out to Nicety Girl in the building. What's going on, Nicety Girl? I just hopped on here real quick, man. Had a little bit of time. I ain't got nothing to do right now. Just wanted to come on here and hop on here and chop it up with the family. But you understand what I'm saying, Pat Young? You understand what I'm saying? Because that's what this narrative is really about. Getting people to understand the roots of hip hop and where it actually was spawned from. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the one thing I liked about it was that he didn't run away from the racism. He said that FBA and Puerto Ricans were at war, which is true. He said the Spades were protecting the community from Puerto Ricans and whites, right? Efu, shout to Efu 2 says Disco Wiz, I think, is the first one of the first Latino DJs, and Kaz brought him in. Was it Wiz or was it Chase? Yeah, you're right. It was Wiz. Even Chase says Wiz was before him. They give credit to Chase. Oftentimes you'll see articles and stuff like that, and even in books and documentaries and stuff, where they say DJ Charlie Chase was the first Puerto Rican DJ, but Charlie Chase does clear that up in some of his interviews and say Wiz actually came before him. Right? But do you understand? Do you understand what I was saying though about how that shouldn't be the determining factor? Sincere, get Dr. Cologne back on here. He got his fake Latin breakdown. Oh man, Latin. Dr. Cologne is somewhere celebrating that video that Melly Mel did. That's where Dr. Cologne is at. He's doing a victory lap about the video Melly Mel did. Melly Mel came out here talking about it's not black culture or Puerto Rican culture, it's Bronx culture. You know what I'm saying? Which is just dumb. That's just, a dumb thing to say. You know what I'm saying? But again, like I said, the thing that we have to break down is what is culture? How do cultures come about? You know what I'm saying? And then we could discuss hip hop culture specifically and how that came about. What it actually comes from. That's what the conversation is really about. That's what needs to be get clear. It's not about what happened in the Bronx, although that should get cleared up as well, because even the Bronx story is not very clear. Depending on who you listen to, it's all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So the Bronx story itself should be cleared up, but what really needs to be cleared up is what we're doing, the work that we're doing with the actual history of the elements, the roots of these elements, where they actually come from. Disco Wiz, I read his book. It's actually really good. What's the name of Disco Wiz's book? Even if there was a PR DJ before Mario, he would have been playing black music. Right. I think he wasn't on here. That's what I was saying. That's how the Spanish guys talk. They say it's Bronx culture. Right. Yeah, just to try to squeeze themselves into it. They try to narrow it down to the Bronx so they could say they was there. You know what I'm saying? But then it's crazy because the people that argue against what we're saying, that try to make it this Bronx thing, try to discredit us from being able to speak about it because we wasn't there in the Bronx. They're making it seem like it doesn't extend to us just because we're foundational Black Americans. It only applies to those people who were there. But they don't hold that same standard to the Puerto Ricans who weren't there. You know what I'm saying? They don't say that about Fat Joe. He wasn't there. They don't say that about Crazy Legs. He wasn't there. So because they from the Bronx, even though they came later, because they from the Bronx, that gives them more credentials than a foundational Black American. I mean, come on. What we talking about here? Yes, brother, I agree with your overall point. I have made similar points. One thing that would help is brothers and sisters from NYC have to stop being ashamed of their Southern roots. Mm, mm. Are brothers from NYC ashamed of their Southern roots? I haven't thought about that. On the scoreboard keepers channel, Mighty Hebrew be tearing Cologne ass up all the time. I haven't seen that. Cologne, man, Cologne is a joke. Cologne is a joke. Anybody still taking Dr. Cologne serious? It's like, come on, man, really? Dr. Cologne got embarrassed when he brought Batch on his show. Batch came on his show, one of his fellow Puerto Ricans, and said, "Hey, Dr. Cologne, Puerto Ricans didn't invent hip hop. We didn't have nothing to do with that. That was our African American brothers and sisters." That's what he said. That was our African American brothers and sisters. They made that up. He kept it 100. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Cologne, like, he should have shut his channel down after that. Where you from, Efu 2? Where you from? This is Disco Kids, Wiz book is just begun. The epic journey to DJ Disco Wiz, hip hop's first Latino DJ. You know what? I think I read an excerpt from the book when I was doing some research. I think I came across an excerpt from the book online when I was doing some research. And Wiz, if I remember correctly, what was Wiz saying? Because I do remember coming across that. And he said something. He said some stuff that I agreed with, but if I remember correctly, there was something weird in there too that I was like, huh? But I can't remember what it was right now. I can't remember what it was right now, but I remember coming across that title. Kind of jogged my memory a little bit. You from Harlem, and you live in the BX, and you about to turn 46. Where's your family from? Where's your family from? Efu too. Um, I forgot who said that earlier, but somebody said too many brothers and sisters from New York City are ashamed of their southern roots. I don't know about that. That might I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying that's not something that I really thought about. That's not something that I really thought about. See, one thing about me, I'm from New York, but I'm not from New York City. So I'm from, if you're from New York City, you would call it upstate New York, but it's not upstate like Buffalo, Rochester. You know what I'm saying? It's not even as far as like Albany, Syracuse, none of that shit. I live like, 45 minutes away from the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Middletown, New York. That's the 845 area, Orange County, if anybody's familiar. Newburgh, Poughkeepsie, all of that. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm from. And my family been in the New York, New Jersey area for a long time. Like I didn't grow up visiting my grandparents down south and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have family members that lived down south. My great grandparents on both sides of my family lived in New York when I was growing up. So when we went to go visit our grandparents and stuff, we went to the other side of town. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, we had them down south visits like a lot of my friends that I grew up with who were foundational Black Americans, most of them had family members who were still in the South, and they would leave for the summer and go down south and all of that. I had to do research to discover my southern roots. That's how long my family hasn't been in the South. You know what I'm saying? My family been, um, like I said, New York, New Jersey area. From what I can tell, from like the Civil War era, from like the Civil War time up. You know what I'm saying? Um, I had to do research to find my family who was from North Carolina, South Carolina, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know about that growing up. And so maybe, a lot of people from New York might have that type of experience also. You know what I'm saying? Where their family just been disconnected from the South for a long time. So they don't have that kind of connection. But most of the people that we know about, you know what I'm saying, from the early days of hip hop, we know that they came from the South. You know what I'm saying? Either them or their parents. Most of these people that we talking about, Melly Mel and Mario and what's my man Theodore, all of these guys. You know what I'm saying? They one generation removed from the South. You know what I'm saying? I make this point about NYC, FBA being ashamed of their Southern roots is because the Puerto Ricans try to use that against FBA by saying it's Bronx culture. They can argue against it being FBA culture. Yeah, I understand. That's the reason why I don't like the framing it of Bronx culture. That's just inaccurate anyway. It's just wrong. But yeah, that leaves the gate open for people, anybody from the Bronx, to be able to say, so what? If you was Asian and you from the Bronx, you white, you from the Bronx, you could claim co-creation just because you're from the Bronx. Like, nah, it don't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. And so I understand what you're saying, but I don't know if I would attribute that to them being ashamed of their Southern roots. They might be very proud of being from the Bronx, being from NYC. You know what I'm saying? Most people from um, all of the five boroughs are very proud about being, what I'm saying, from New York. You know what I'm saying? New York is like, people wave that flag hard. People wave that flag hard. They want to let you know, yeah, I'm from New York. There's something associated with that. There's a certain amount of cool. There's a certain amount of uh, I don't know, clout or whatever that people associate with being able to say that they're from there. Like I said, me being from upstate, um, a lot of my friends that I grew up with, they was actually from New York originally, but you know what I'm saying. A lot of them they moved around my way when we was kids. You know what I'm saying? you moved when we was in the 4th grade is when I met you. You from Brooklyn, but I met you here in Middletown in the 4th grade, and now we in our 40s, and you still saying you from Brooklyn. They still claim Brooklyn. They not letting that go. You know what I'm saying? Even though you grew up where I grew up at, you from where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? But they not letting that go. They from the Bronx, you from Queens. They gonna say that their whole life. You know what I'm saying? And then you even got people who's not really from the boroughs, who are actually from upstate, but probably have some family in the city, you know what I'm saying, where they go visit, you know what I'm saying, vacation, in the summer times and, winter breaks, Christmas and all that. They go visit their family in the Bronx, go visit their family, Brooklyn, Queens, wherever their family live at. And they be trying to claim that they from the boroughs when you from Newburgh, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So you get that. You know what I'm saying? So that might be the thing. I don't know if it's a shame of being from the South. I don't know if that's what it is, but it's just, clinging to that association of being from one of the boroughs because, New York City is a world-renowned city, you know what I'm saying? Um, birthplace of hip hop and all that. A lot of famous people come from these places and all of that. Say if you're from Middletown, New York, like me, ain't really nobody you could point to say, yeah, so and so from around my way. Ain't really no big stars and celebrities and legends that came from where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? But if you're from Brooklyn, you got Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? You got Jay-Z. You got Biggie Smalls. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's more of a pride of being from New York, being from the Bronx or being from Queens or whatever. I wouldn't say that it's ashamed of having Southern roots though. I wouldn't say that. Um, my great grandmother's family all came up from South Carolina in the 1910s. Okay, okay. My family is from New York since the Civil War as well. So Jakeem, when you was growing up, what part of New York are you from, by the way? And when you was growing up, did you go down south for the summers and stuff like that? Did you still have people in the South that you would go visit for the summers? Because like I said, most of my friends that's FBA, they still have people in the South. And so, like, if you got in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Usually they send you down south, like girls, like back in the days, teenage pregnancy was a big thing. So a lot of girls, when they got pregnant, young or whatever the case may be, they would get sent down south. You go down south to live with the grandparents and stuff like that, and they're gonna help you, raise the babies and shit like that. Like, the South was almost like a rest haven, a safe haven to get away when shit got a little bit too hot for a lot of niggas in New York. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't have that growing up. My fam moved to New Jersey too around the same time. I didn't have fam in the South. Everyone was here since the early 1900s. Also, that Bronx Mel talking about has been completely gone since the 90s. Yeah, because now it's a lot of tethers out there. Now it's probably mostly tethers out there, to be honest. East New York, you from Pink Houses. Okay, shout out to Pink Houses. You know what I'm saying? I got some peoples from the East, Brownsville and all of that too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brooklyn. I have no family in the South at all. Right. So you similar to me. And so I think that's probably the case with a lot of New Yorkers. Pat Young. I think that's more so the case than people being ashamed of their Southern roots. People have been either disconnected from their Southern roots or, like I said, they just clinging on to that New York clout. My family is from GA and South Carolina. My family left GA and went to NYC in the late 1940s. Then, once they came up, they moved across to Newark and East Orange, New Jersey. We used to send boxes of grits up there. Okay, no doubt. So y'all still had that connection. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. Mom's fam was Shinnecock Indian from Long Island. Now, yeah, there's a lot of again, there's a lot of people who have those indigenous connections in the New York, New Jersey area as well. So people, black, a lot of FBAs been up top for a long time. Slavery was in New York in the 1600s. Yeah, we know. Yeah, yeah. Yep, that's true. The Bronx is like 50% Dominican now, like 15% Indian, Middle Eastern, and like 15% Caribbean. Right. Right. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And it's a lot of Puerto Ricans too. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans still out there too. Not too many FBAs still here. Okay. Yeah, man. You know, and I stayed in the Bronx for a quick minute. I had a quick stint out there in the Bronx. I had a chick out there back in the days. Um, yeah, but Mel. I don't know what Mel was talking about, man. Melly Mel. You know, the thing is, man, when you see a lot of these dudes who, you know, just in regular conversation, normally they would tell the truth. They just tell the truth. If you had a conversation with them about this, and you just ask some questions, normally they would just keep it real and just tell the truth. But the way the conversation has been getting hot, a lot of feathers have been getting ruffled, and a lot of these guys just not comfortable ruffling feathers like that. A lot of these guys really just want to go along to get along. You know, they kind of depend on these other demographics, unfortunately, you know, for their daily bread. A lot of the shows and stuff that they do, a lot of the, you know, whatever sponsorships and stuff like that that they get, you know what I mean? Their career is kind of dependent on, you know, people from the Latino community and all that. So they really don't want to rock the boat and ruffle no feathers. And so when they found out that that's what was happening based on them telling the truth, they kind of cowered down, man. They kind of cowered down, unfortunately. Not everybody, but the ones that we see doing that. The ones that we see doing that. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, you know, we should kind of expect that because when we look at their track record, we can give them their props as, you know, legends and pioneers of the game. We can give them props for what they've done, but we can't really look at them and say that they have a track record of standing on business when it comes to anything related to, you know, black empowerment, when it relates to, you know, standing on business when it comes to getting justice and all of that. They don't have a track record of that in the first place. So us having those kind of expectations are not even realistic. And you're a military brat. And my father was in the Air Force and stationed in Plattsburgh, New York. Plattsburgh, where the hell is Plattsburgh? That sounds familiar. Plattsburgh. I think there's a Plattsburgh in Pennsylvania too. I might be thinking about Plattsburgh, Pennsylvania, but that sounds familiar. Plattsburgh, New York. We used to visit NYC, Bronx, Manhattan, and I remember the racism we had to be led around by older cousins. I was saying the same thing. What happened to all of the FBA in New York? It's like they disappeared, moved to Jersey, but we not heavy in New York like back in the days. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. This is true. A lot of us came down south, and I'm not from the city again, but I'm from New York. But a lot of us came down south, man. It's just more affordable to live down here. You get more bang for your buck. You know what I'm saying? People got tired of just being cramped on top of each other, you know what I'm saying? Paying all that money to live in a small space. You ain't got no yard, you ain't got no garage, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? You paying all this money to live in a rat hole. You know what I'm saying? And some of the places are nice. I'm not saying everything is toe up, but I'm just saying like the amount of square footage that you get, you know, per dollar, it just don't compare to when you come down here. And it's starting to get more expensive down here now too. You know what I'm saying? But places like Texas, Alabama, you know what I'm saying, different parts of the South, where it's just you know, you get land, you got a yard, you know what I'm saying? You get more for your buck. So a lot of people got out of Dodge, you know, really for economic reasons. You know what I'm saying? You know, the gentrification started real heavy in New York and Harlem and Brooklyn and places like that back when the Clintons went out there. You know that gentrification started to go into overdrive when they brought the Brooklyn Nets out there. You know what I'm saying? And so that kind of displaced a lot of the foundational Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of contributing factors. Should have moved down south. Probably eventually will. What's going on? Down to Earth Network. I'm just on here chopping it up with y'all, man. I ain't talking about no specific topic. We just happen to get on the hip hop thing because I don't know, somebody said something, but if y'all got any questions or comments or anything y'all want to chop it up about, just put it in the chat. It's, we just freestyling right now. We just freestyling right now. One thing though, a lot of people have been complaining. Y'all know Trump is back in office now. Donald Trump back in office. He's been doing a lot of executive orders. He's been shaking shit up over the last couple days. ASAP, day one, as soon as he got in there, he started shaking things up. And one thing that I'm seeing a lot of people complaining about right now is the overturning of Executive Order EO 11246. And that was the executive order that requires affirmative action and prohibits federal contractors from discriminating on the basis of race, color, religion, and sexual orientation. And I think the sexual orientation thing got thrown in there later on. Actually, Obama, I think, did the amendment on that bill and threw in the sexual orientation stuff. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what happened. It was who was it? Lyndon Johnson back in 65, I think it was 1965. Lyndon Baines Johnson put this affirmative action thing in place where federal contractors not supposed to be discriminating based on race and all this other stuff. And I think, like I said, when Obama was in office, he amended it and to include sexual orientation as well. I think, if I'm not mistaken. But a lot of people have been complaining about that over the last couple of days, especially the Democratic shills, the vote blue, no matter who people and all of that. They trying to use this against us, B1, as some type of gotcha moment. Like, see, I told you what y'all got to say now. Donald Trump, like I put on Twitter today, I said, listen, man, this because Roland Martin, Roland's big head ass, he retweeted something about it, and he was saying, calling out FBAs. Yeah, I bet you FBA people, whatever the hell he was saying. And so, I retweeted his tweet with a comment saying, look, this is good. As far as we're concerned, this is good. We need to get rid of all of these do-nothing programs that benefit everybody except for the people that it was intended to benefit. Getting rid of these type of programs actually is good for us because it pulls the rug from up under all of these buffer classes and makes them persona non grata. It hurts them more than it hurts us because it never benefited us to begin with, for real. Even though we were the intended beneficiaries of some of these programs. We are the reason why these programs got written into law, and they're not all laws, but some of them are acts and laws and statutes and whatever they are. A lot of these things got put in place because of our plight and because of our fight. But what they did was they worded it with these ambiguous terms in order to trick bag it up and make sure that we don't actually receive direct benefits from it. You know what I'm saying? And part of it was us, being on this we are the world stuff and wanting to include everybody else in it. You know what I'm saying? We wanted it to be not just affirmative action for us specifically, but all marginalized people and minorities and immigrants and all of these other people. That was part of what we got wrong at that time. You know what I'm saying? And we were agreeing to this stuff, saying, yeah, thinking that, okay, it's going to be good for us and it's going to be good for them. And we all going to have this coalition together. But what ended up happening is it benefited these other groups, especially the ones who can work their way into whiteness. You know what I'm saying? I.e. the Hispanics, white LGBT people, women, anybody that could be white adjacent or white enough, the Asians, even the Arabs, you know what I'm saying? All of these white enough people are the ones that actually receive the direct benefits, and we get the crumbs that are left over. And them receiving the direct benefits, what it did was it put their people in certain positions to be able to lift each other up, where they became the ones in place to discriminate against us. So they got in these manager positions and these hiring positions and these positions to sign off on certain things. They got all of their people in place off of our backs, and they started lifting each other up and discriminating against us. And so now, the white supremacists look like their hands are clean, because they're not even the ones that's actually doing the dirty work. They got all these buffer classes in place through these programs to do their bidding for them. And so now they can say, hey, they say it ain't racism. These are your fellow people of color. These are the people that you want to help out. Actually, we're meeting our quota. We got all of these quotas in place that we're going to have marginalized people and people of color in place. Look, we got this many people on our board. We got this many people of color employed. We got this many people of color who are getting these contracts, so on and so forth. So we met our quota. So maybe something's wrong with you. You need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Maybe you're not working hard enough. Maybe you just don't value education, or it's just your culture. Y'all got too many baby mamas and drug dealers and all of that. You guys are the only ones complaining. You know what I'm saying? We the only ones complaining because all of these other groups, which we didn't realize, had the same anti-black sentiments as the white supremacists. They were incentivized to work their way in to ingratiate themselves in with the white supremacists. And the prerequisite was to practice anti-black racism against us. And so, good that Trump is getting rid of all of this stuff. Not that he's doing it for us. That's not his intentions. He's not saying, man, you know what? These programs ain't really helping black people. Let's get rid of these programs. He's not doing something intentionally to benefit us. You know what I'm saying? He's being Trump. He's doing what he need to do to appease his base. This is what his base want to see, because that's the type of white supremacy that they like on the right. The right wing white supremacists, they're not really with all of this buffer class shit. You know what I'm saying? They look at all of the people of color as niggas. They want everybody at the bottom. They don't want no buffer class. You know what I'm saying? And so Trump is doing this to appease his base. You know what I'm saying? Not realizing that on our behalf, those of us who, didn't support the Democrats and withheld our vote, this is some of the things that we wanted to see happen. So we were very strategic. We were very strategic with what we were doing. Peace to the God, Lamel Prince in the building. What's going on? We were very strategic with what we were doing politically. Our political maneuver was a very strategic one. This is exactly what we wanted to see happen. And I'm glad that he's not wasting no time getting down to business. You know what I'm saying? Because it works for us twofold. It works for us in the way that I just explained, because it undermines the buffer class and it makes them persona non grata, right? That's the one way that it benefits us. But it also benefits us because the rest of Black society, the masses of Black society who are not really like-minded individuals, because, we're a small number. Like I say, we're not the minority. We're the elite class of Black society. Those of us in intelligent Black society, those of us in B1 society, those of us who are looking at our uniqueness as foundational Black Americans and all of that, we don't really have the numbers. We have the power, but we don't really have the numbers. You know what I'm saying? But what this does for the rest of Black society is it makes them see America for what it really is. You know what I'm saying? it makes more and more of us have to wake up to the reality of what America really is. And then our message starts to resonate. You know what I'm saying? You know how when you're trying to tell your cousins and your aunties and all the people in your family who on that vote blue, no matter who shit, who ain't trying to hear what you saying, they think you militant and you always on that black power shit and all of that shit. You know your family members who be on that type of shit. They not really coons. You know what I'm saying? They just subject to the programming. You know what I'm saying? And so what this does, this helps to deprogram them. And it makes them warm up to what you're saying a little bit more. They start to warm up to what you're saying a little bit more. Now they saying, oh shit, my cousin was making a little bit of sense. Nephew, what you think about? They start asking you questions. Now they want to know what you think. They seen some shit on the news that Trump did. They want to know what you think now, nephew, what you think about this? They really listening now. Why? Because now they're forced to look for answers and solutions because they see help is not coming. Help is not on the way. So now we have to look within ourselves to find answers and solutions to the problems that we face. So this is good. This is good. This is exactly what we wanted to see. This is exactly what we wanted to see. We ain't tripping. We ain't tripping. This doesn't change anything for us. Negatively, this doesn't change anything for foundational Black Americans. We dealing with the same problems before Inauguration Day that we are today. Nothing has changed for us, but for these other groups, they got new problems now. A lot of these other groups, they got problems today that they didn't have on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I think they got like 400, they done locked up like 400 illegals already. From last I seen, they had locked up like 400 illegals on day one. They got problems. A lot of these employers that have been using these illegals for cheap labor and all of that, their businesses are going through some stuff that they wasn't going through on Sunday. They're experiencing some hardships now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who have been benefiting from these affirmative action programs, these DEI quotas and all of that stuff, their numbers are dropping within these institutions that they've been able to get access to based on these things. Our numbers are still the same. Nothing is really changing for us because we weren't benefiting in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we get, we got it out the mud anyway. So we good. We good. We ain't tripping. People in my family getting mad at me because I hold the Dems accountable while they vote for who they like. Y'all know how it is. And also the maps, he's doing it to hide them. Also the maps. I didn't understand that one, down to earth. I understand that one. The country is changing. If you have any sons, stepsons, nephews, and cousins, you should try to steer them back into the skilled trades, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, appliance repair, welding, etc. And you ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. One of my sons is in college now. He's doing computer science. His major is computer science. He's an athlete, but his major is computer science. And my other son, he's actually going to start an electrician apprenticeship this spring. He's turning 21 tomorrow, by the way. Shout out to my son, Zelle. He's going to be 21 tomorrow. But yeah, he's getting into the electrician thing. And he's a musician like myself. He's an artist like myself as well. And so he's pursuing his passions out here. But the electrician thing, he's definitely going to be getting that skill, that trade under his belt. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, those things are going to be important moving forward. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. My little son, 7, we focus mostly on STEM with him. You know what I'm saying? He's a little nerd. He's a little brainiac. He's really good at math. He's interested in science and stuff like that. So we focus on a lot of STEM stuff with him, trying to get him into coding, um, develop, game development, app development, um, all of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? With him, AI, all of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, for parents out there and grandparents out there who got little ones and all of that, um, don't be intimidated by these fields just because you don't know anything about it. You know what I'm saying? Because me, I don't know shit. I don't know shit about computers and all of that stuff. I don't know shit about coding and all of that stuff. I don't know nothing about it. You know what I mean? But I don't let that intimidate me or stop me from exposing my son, because I understand how important it's going to be for him. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the world in the direction that society is going into and understanding the importance of where that's going to be. You know what I'm saying? And so I do what I can do with my limited knowledge on these areas to make sure that he's exposed, whether that's looking for free programs online, where I find them all the time, where they always do like a free trial period or something for coding, teach your kids how to code and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And I just sign them up, do the free trial, because a lot of times it might be expensive. You might not be able to afford to pay for the whole program or whatever the case may be. But every time they got a free trial, sign them up so he can get that exposure, so he can be acclimated to the language and the terminology, and you know what I'm saying. He's getting some experience under his belt. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's online or in person, especially the in person. The in person stuff is, the online stuff is great too, because they get on a Zoom call and they teach them. They going through the things and all of that stuff. That's good too. But in person is even better if you can get them out to some in person events when they're having these free events. They always trying to sell you something, so they're gonna uh, get you there with a free event. You know what I'm saying? Bring them there. Get them in the rooms. You know what I'm saying? Very important. Very important. A lot of times we don't know nothing about it, so we kind of sleep on our kids. You know what I'm saying? We kind of limit them by our own limit. We put our limitations on them. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. So yeah. So what else is going on? I've been on here for almost an hour already, man. I just wanted to holler at y'all real quick, man. I just wanted to see what was going on with y'all real quick. Like I said, I had a little bit of time on my hands, but I've been on here almost an hour already, man. That went by quick. That went by quick. So I don't even know what day it is, because like I said, everything is all messed up with the snow and everything like that. What's today? Today is Wednesday. So we were supposed to have an episode of the Black Business Showcase coming up tomorrow, but the person that was on the schedule canceled. They had something come up. So I don't think we have an Black Business Showcase tomorrow. So I might hop back on here, do one of these and chop it up with y'all again or something. But if you are a business owner, if you own a business, or if you're an entrepreneur, you're a writer, you're an inventor, anything like that, and you're looking for some exposure, you know what I'm saying, you want to be featured on our channel, send me a DM, man. I'm at Sincere Love to God on all social media platforms. You can send us an email at godcastenterprises@gmail.com. godcastenterprises@gmail.com. Let us know what you got going on so we can get you on the schedule for the Black Business Showcase, man. That's our weekly series, for those that don't know, where we bring on business owners and entrepreneurs and chop up game with them about their specific industry, and learn about their story and their journey into whatever it is that they're doing and trying to accomplish and all of that. It's real good game, man. If you're not up on the Black Business Showcase, we got a whole archive. We've been doing it like almost 3 years now or so. And so we interviewed a lot of people. We had people from all different industries come on and chop it up with us. So y'all need to go back through that archive and check out some of the classic episodes of the Black Business Showcase. But yeah, again, if you're trying to get on, godcastenterprises@gmail.com. Peace, love, and reparations. PD that remains. What's going on, King? How you, fam? That's one of our good channel members right there. Y'all see his name highlighted in the green. That means he's a channel member. So shout out to him. And by the way, to the channel members, since you're here and you are a channel member, um, what type of exclusive content do y'all want to see from us? Because we got to start dropping. Shout out to Jesse Paris in the building as well. We trying to figure out what kind of content we can do exclusively for the members. You know what I'm saying? What could we do for y'all exclusively? Give us some ideas of the type of content that y'all want to see from me and Nicety, specifically for the channel members, or at least for the channel members first. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that we will release, only you guys would get access to it first before anybody else for being channel members. You know, we want to definitely make sure that that we're rewarding you guys for supporting us and becoming, members of the channel and all of that. So we want to be able to give y'all some exclusive looks or some first looks at certain things that we're going to be doing. So give us some ideas of what y'all want to see from us, so we can make sure that y'all good. All right. PD that remains, send me a DM. Let me know some of your ideas so we can see what we could cook up for the channel members. And yeah, if you're not a member of the channel, go ahead and grab you a membership, man. Grab you a membership, become a channel member, and let us know what you want to see. Also, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, you definitely want to hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell, so you can be reminded whenever we go live with new episodes of Sincere Love the Godcast. Me and Nicety will be back on this Sunday around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, because we got a lot to chop it up with y'all this week, man. Like I said, all this stuff going on with Trump, him shutting down the borders and all of that stuff, and we gotta talk about a lot of things that's been going on, and I'm sure there's gonna be, in the next couple of days, there's gonna be even more news coming out. So look forward to chopping it up with y'all this summer about everything that's going. I mean, this Sunday about everything that's going on with this new presidency so far. So y'all definitely stay tuned for that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. Y'all stay blessed. Always remember, family, I am not the master teacher. I am only the master student and signal booster for the voices of the new Black media. I'm out of here. Peace and Black love.